Hey everyone, welcome to the inaugural edition of Viral Vocabulary. Now before we continue, I need to acknowledge my intrepid videographer, Mary Honeyman, who has been around the house 24/7 for the last 3 straight school days, completely uninterrupted.
Yeah, and she's controlling the camera. And now she's going to focus on something else. Hi,
Hey,
Scout. Oh,
not
and you're
nice.
yawning too. I'm yawning too.
Not nice.
Okay, you ready? Get serious, please.
Yeah, the dulcet tones of my dearly beloved. Marital bliss aside, oh my goodness, have the last 5 to 10 days changed our world? I pray that anybody who's watching this video, in all seriousness, is safe and healthy, and that anybody you care about can say the same. But regardless of the personal circumstances that you find yourself in as you watch this video for the next 5 to 7 minutes, I hope you will find it mildly amusing, perhaps a bit distracting, and maybe in some small way, a safe harbor from the storm that is swirling around all of us right now. You know, I've always been fascinated by words, even when I was a little kid. There's a favorite quote of mine by Penelope Lively. In a single sentence of idle chatter, we preserve Latin, Anglo-Saxon, Norse. We carry a museum inside our heads. Each day, we commemorate peoples of whom we have never heard. That museum of words in our head, it carries the power to change the world, to make a difference in people's lives, to help dreams come true. I tried to convey that power for the last 35 years of my career. I wanted my students to see themselves as word artists. So I would give them the metaphor of if they had a palette and it had 3 primary colors on it, and that's all it had. Could they create a portrait that was beautiful and eye-catching and meaningful? Absolutely. But if they had a palette that had 150 different shades on it, how much more likely that they could create a painting that was galvanizing and nuanced and said something important to people? I wanted them to have that many shades on their palettes. I wanted them to be word artists. And for 35 years, I was consistently moved by the level of risk-taking and intellect and passion and insight that came out in every piece they wrote. You know, in today's stressful world, I'm not sure that words have ever been more important. Whether it's listening to our healthcare providers giving us advice, or our teachers giving e-lessons online to our children, or people reaching out with words of comfort. So let's celebrate the magic of words today. And so our word of the day is harbinger. Harbinger. Noun. Something that foreshadows a future event or gives an anticipatory sign of what is to come. Its origin is a mix of English, French, and Germanic influences over the centuries. They think that perhaps as early as the 12th century the word first came into use, but at that time it meant somebody who provides lodging or a host of some sort. By the middle to late 1300s, it had evolved to mean somebody who went ahead of a larger party in search of lodging. So you can see that it was starting to evolve toward its more modern usage of a forerunner or a foreshadowing. And that's one of the aspects of language that fascinates me, is how much it evolves, that it's a living organism that's constantly shifting. And when you think about it, I mean, when you go to see Shakespeare, for many of us it sounds like a foreign language until you sort of get used to the rhythm of it. 500 years from now, when people read our letters, watch a play, see a TV show, pick up a magazine that was published at this time, it's going to sound like Shakespeare to them. It's pretty wild to think about it. So finally, by roughly the mid-1500s, harbinger took on its common usage and as the way we know it today as a forerunner or a foreshadowing. Now, sometimes I've heard it used in negative connotations, not that it has to be, but often I'll see something like it, you know, the bitter frost was a harbinger of a winter to come, or, you know, it was a harbinger of death, you know, those sorts of things. But it doesn't have to be used in a negative way. And when I was thinking about making this video, I was thinking about how in our society today there are all these beautiful gestures of love and support and empathy that have started kind of pouring out into the e-sphere. And it made me think about maybe those gestures are a harbinger of us becoming a more cohesive society. You know, because it's funny, it seems like the more ways we found to communicate, the farther away we've gotten from each other. So maybe this is an opportunity. This is a harbinger of us rediscovering each other, of how much we mean to each other, how much we need each other. We are all interconnected. And the best part of it is, all we need to do is talk or type, and more importantly, open our eyes or listen. You know, we can't make this virus disappear, but we can make a difference. We can weather this storm together. So be safe, be healthy. Let's look out for each other. And all you word artists, and that's all of us, use your language, your viral vocabulary, to change the world. Let your words sweep across your community and beyond, a linguistic contagion of love and gratitude and compassion. We could all use a little bit of that kind of exponential growth, don't you think? See you next time.